Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Toni and I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. And I am so excited about today's video. This is my all-time top favorite curriculum and I'm sharing with you my favorite for each subject. So if you want to hear what those are, stay tuned. So this video is a collaboration with Ryan over at Mama on Mission. I was so excited when she asked me about this. It's such a great idea. I don't think I've ever done a video where I've talked about all my favorites in one video. So I was super excited and to do a collaboration with her, and I know she has a bunch of other really awesome homeschool moms that are a part of this, and they're all sharing what their favorite curriculum is. So we all kind of need that, especially if you're in that place where you just don't know what you're doing next year, or you just need an idea. Sometimes you just need like a springboard to bounce off of and kind of peek at little things, and you might not like or want to use what I'm sharing, but I think it's always good to just hear what other people have loved in the past, and maybe that might be something that'll work for you. So I'm just gonna dive right in and I'm gonna share with you what my favorites are. When you're done here, don't forget to check out the playlist. I will link that in the description box below, and check out Ryan's channel. She's an awesome homeschool mom of 4 boys. She talks a lot about biblical motherhood and womanhood, and she's awesome, and I'm really excited to be in this collaboration with her. So let's talk about my favorites. I'm gonna start with my favorite all-in-one. Just all-in-one, everything's covered. And you might be surprised because I haven't really talked about this much at all in my channel because I used it a long time ago. And that's a little peek into the rest of this video today. These aren't all curriculum that I'm using right now. So this is all-time favorite. And sometimes you might have a favorite that doesn't work for you on a certain year, or it only works a certain year. And the one I'm about to share, it worked for us in this little season of our life and it was perfect, but it doesn't work anymore. So, but it's still my favorite. And if I could make it work, I would make it work. So my favorite all-in-one, all-time curriculum is 5 in a Row. Have you ever used 5 in a Row? It is so sweet and awesome, and some of my favorite children's books have come from 5 in a Row. So it's really awesome. The concept behind 5 in a Row is you get a book that you read, like a storybook. I remember one of the ones that was one of my favorites was Lentil. We loved Lentil. I never would have heard about this book if it hadn't been for this curriculum. You read the book like Lentil. We'll read it every single day. On Monday, you'll read it Tuesday, all the way up to Friday. Every single day, you're reading your kids this book, and this is great for young ages. So I believe it was kindergarten that we used 5 in a Row. And anyway, you read it every single day, and then there's an activity for each subject. And because this was kindergarten, you're doing a lot of fun stuff. It's not, you know, we're not doing algebra or anything like that, but everything ties in with the book. So like for science, we did this taste testing because in Lentil it talks about the guy eating a lemon. So we did this taste testing with, I have a picture if I can find it, I'll show you guys. But we had this taste testing with my girls, and they were so little, and they all tasted like something sweet, and they tasted something salty, and they all had to taste a lemon. And I have faces of them all puckering up like Lentil did in the story. So sweet. It was such a sweet time. I really think 5 in a Row is what got my heart into wanting to do more living books in our homeschool, because it was just so fun, and you just read that one book every single day, which you might think could get boring, but it really didn't. It was like they were excited about it. They're young and they just loved it. Now, the reason that doesn't work for me right now is because it was time consuming, because you get like a teacher's guide that tells you everything you can do, but you do have to plan out your activities, and I could do it. When my oldest was in kindergarten and I had a couple little ones that were trailing and out along with us and just did it with us, it was totally fine. It was really easy. Right now, my youngest is in kindergarten, and then I have much older kids. My kids are, right now, they're in 7th grade, 5th grade, 3rd grade, and then I have my kindergartner. I honestly don't have time to do this curriculum, and I would love to. If I could, I would totally do this curriculum again. I just don't have time. So, but it is totally my favorite. So I would say if your oldest is young and you just have some little ones that can kind of go in together, and you don't have a whole lot of heavy homeschool going on right now, check out 5 in a Row, because I really loved it. They do have before 5 in a Row, which is a preschool, and they have beyond 5 in a Row, which I think it's the older grades. I never did that, so I don't have experience with that, but I loved it. It was so, so sweet. So that was my all-time favorite all-in-one curriculum. Another favorite all-in-one curriculum, which also goes along with history, is Heart of Dakota. And you probably won't be surprised about that because I have done a couple videos on Heart of Dakota in my on my channel. I'll link that playlist up here. But I love Heart of Dakota. It's not something I'm doing right now. It doesn't work for our family right now in the stage we're at. But when we did it, it was wonderful. It's an open and go, mainly a history-based curriculum. Everything's entwined. Everything ties in together. So you're reading something in history, you have a history project that goes along with it, you are reading something in Bible that is related to history, you're doing a poem for poetry that's related to history with what you read about. You have your science is usually somewhat related to it. And then there's a read aloud that's also related to it. It ties everything together, and I love that. You can do your own math and you can do your own language, and it's, I don't know, I loved it. It was so, so good. It was very independent. Once my kids got to, I think like fourth grade, the fourth grade level, it was very independent, which was awesome because I was using, you get like a teacher's guide, and I was using 3 different teacher's guides, which that year was a lot. Before that, when I was only using 2, it was totally doable, and I just kind of bounced back and forth between the 2. But a lot of the stuff that they have to do is independent, which I love. So if you have multiple kids, it could be great. But if your kids aren't close enough together and they all have to be in separate guides, it is really hard. And it was too hard for me to balance that. I tried to make it work even this year, at the end of this year, when I'm trying to think a little bit about like, what am I going to do next year? I keep going back to like, oh, I would love to do Heart of Dakota again, but I just can't make it work right now in our life. I might revisit it for high school. I'm kind of curious about their high school level because she would be completely independent. I love it. It's a Christian curriculum, and I just love all the rich literature, and that's how they read. They read all their history. They learn all their history through living books, and it's awesome. So Heart of Dakota is definitely one of my top all-in-one and history curriculums. Super, super good curriculum. Now I'm going to slide right into history, because that is my favorite all-in-one with history. But because that's not working, if you have multiple kids and they're spread apart, and that might be a little overwhelming to be balancing the different guides in Heart of Dakota. So my other favorite, if you want to do family style history, is Biblioplan. I absolutely love Biblioplan, and if you followed my channel, you probably know that already because I've done a handful of videos on them. Any of these videos that I've done, I'll go ahead and link them above so that you guys can get more of an in-depth look if you're curious about any of these curriculums, because most of them I have done flip throughs and talked about them before. But I love Biblioplan. It's just a really great, it's pretty open and go. You can add more to it, but it's just like, right now in this stage in our life, we're basically opening the textbook and we're reading it together, and then we do some add-ins here and there, but they have all kinds of stuff you can add in. So if you want to make it a big thing and you want to do a craft and you want to do extra reading, and they have literature planned out, and it's just all kinds of stuff are planned out in the family guide, and you can do as much or as little as you want to do, or as it'll work in your family, and you're still learning. And it's been super, super awesome. I just read it with my girls. We sit down and read it together. They read with me, and it's very colorful. It's got pictures, and it's, I mean, it's a lot of text, but it's got these like color boxes that have like kind of different facts that they need to know. And so I have them read all those, and it's just a nice thing to do together. And it's been really great. We are, we're learning a lot in history, and I'm finishing up my 2nd year using them. So I'm excited to try next year doing modern days. So I'm really excited to see what that is. If you want to do history together as a family and you want the freedom to be able to put in literature when you want without having to do it, because that's the difference. When we did Heart of Dakota, it was like all planned out for you. So it's kind of like, I didn't get to that book yet. And it was really hard if we weren't able to do it all. Biblioplan, you can plan what you want. It doesn't take a ton of planning, but you plan in what you want. And if you want to add in extra books, you do it. So it's great. I love it. It is perfect for our season of life right now. So I do love Biblioplan. Okay, language, we have a tie. Sorry guys, I have a tie. So language is a tie between Christian light education, language, and the good and the beautiful language. I really love both of them for 2 different reasons. Right now, we are using the good and the beautiful, but we have used Christian light education for it, and I really loved it. It's very strong. So I'll start talking about Christian light first. It's very similar to their math, where it's a workbook. They call them light units, and it's the lessons are in the book. It's independent. They did it on their own, and language was really something they barely ever needed my help with. It taught them everything they needed to know, everything from, you know, parts of speech to sentence diagramming and everything in between. And I feel like it was very strong. It wasn't fluff. It's basically black and white. It's nothing shiny and exciting or anything like that, which is the only reason why I moved to The Good and the Beautiful, because we were using a couple other things from Christian Light. I decided I just wanted to add a little fun and pretty and color into their curriculum. And so we found The Good and the Beautiful. And The Good and the Beautiful is, I think, just as strong. I'm loving it. We're using that this year. It's just as strong. It is both of them are the spiral approach, where they kind of tie a bunch of stuff in together, not just learning one thing, but it includes art. So there's a lot of beautiful artwork throughout the book. And it's, that was one thing that I really loved, was that it's got like art appreciation, and there's a lot of paintings. We talk about them, and then we'll use the painting to, you know, pick out nouns or pick out, you know, different things. They learn how to be able to describe things. There's just a little bit more richness in The Good and the Beautiful because of like the artwork and some of the activities. It's also a little, it's less workbooky. It's still a workbook, but there's some of the levels for like spelling, they would have them, you know, hop in their chair and spell as they're like, you know, whatever. Or they'd have to like sit on the floor and do sit-ups with every letter or something. So they do fun stuff like that, which can work for certain kids, and it can be, you know, some kids could hate that. My daughter that was doing that loved it. She thought it was really fun. So I really love both of these. So they're both great to look into. If you just want something straightforward and independent, they don't need you for it all, then I would definitely go with Christian Light. If you are looking for something a little more with art mixed in, art appreciation, and just pretty and a colorful curriculum, but that's also strong. But a lot of it does take mom too. Not a lot of it, but half of each lesson does take me. So it is not completely independent, but there is an independent section. So that would work. Look into The Good and the Beautiful. And they do have, a lot of theirs are free if you can download them online. I just bought the book from them, but that is another perk, that they have like levels, I think 1 through 6 for free online, which is pretty awesome. So, but those are my two favorite language curriculums. How about math? So math is one of those that I have tried a handful of different math curriculums, and one that I used for quite a while for a chunk of their younger years, and then we strayed away to try other stuff. I came back because it's so good. So Christian Light is my all-time favorite math curriculum. Love it, and I'm not planning on getting away from it. I want to stick with Christian Light. I'm planning on as long as I can, because it is, first of all, independent. It's open and go. It doesn't take a lot of teacher instruction. It really, a lot of times, takes zero teacher instruction, because the lessons are written out, the little lesson for each kid. It is obviously straightforward, written out in their little workbook. And so all they have to do is read the new concept. They've got a couple practice problems. And then they've got a lot of review with this We Remember section at the end. It's not a quick lesson. It's usually 3 or 4 pages. But I love that it's a spiral approach. It brings together all the stuff they've been learning and reinforces it every single day. And they are doing so much better in math, and I'm so glad we came back to it. So I'm not a math-minded mom, and this is perfect, because it's not anything crazy. It is math, the way we learned it, the way I learned it when I was a kid. It's nothing fancy and no, you know, new crazy things. It's just math. It's been really great. It's, I mean, for me to get excited about a math curriculum is a big deal. And I really do love it, and it works. My girls are doing math right now while I'm filming this video. That's how independent and great it is. So it is a challenging curriculum. This is not a fluffy curriculum, but they're getting it. And and if there are times where they don't understand the concept, I just read them the lesson. Like the little lesson in their book, I just basically read it out loud and we kind of work with it together. But it's great. I love it. Christian Light is awesome. Okay, so that is my favorite math. Reading. Okay, reading. My favorite reading curriculum, hands down, is Christian Light education. I've talked about this recently. I'll link that video above too, but I really love it. It's very strong academically. It goes really great with their language, but it actually goes really great with the Good and the Beautiful's language because, like I said, they're both very similar with what they're teaching. But it's not just reading. It's not just reading comprehension. It's also got a lot of phonics and different things mixed in. So it's a very strong academic reading curriculum. And it's not easy, especially as you get into the older levels. These are, it's not just like, okay, who is the main character of the story? It's like, some of them are like deeper questions. So it is challenging, but I think it's good challenging. It's Christian-based, obviously Christian light education. It's Christian-based. The stories are wholesome and they're always clean. I don't have anything to worry about. When they're reading their book in Christian light, I never have any worries about content, never. So that is really great. It's just really good. It's very independent. Every other day they need me. They have to read orally, which I love too, because that's something that if it wasn't an assignment, I maybe wouldn't have them read orally to me. And as you get out of that, that's a skill that can get a little rusty if you're not reading out loud. So I love that they have to read out loud to me on every other lesson, especially the younger, up to my 5th grader. They do like one day they read the story, the next day they read it out loud to me, next day they read the story, a new story, and then they read out loud to me, and they have workbook pages for each day. So it is really great. I love it. And like I said, it's also independent except for that reading to me aspect of it. So love Christian Light. My favorite science, I don't know. I honestly am just gonna leave this blank because I haven't found a science curriculum that I absolutely love, that I would like brag about and like tell everybody about and run around the neighborhood for. We have used a handful of different sciences and they're fine. I hope there's that like diamond in the rough that we find for next year, and then I will run around the neighborhood and tell you guys about it. But as of right now, what we're using works. What we've used has worked. Everything's been fine, but I'm not super excited about anything. So I have nothing to say about science. So I love science, but I just haven't found that curriculum, you know, and something that we're like excited to do. And I feel like science is something that you could get excited to do. We just haven't found it. So I'm leaving this blank, okay? So those are the main subjects. I do have favorites and a couple other little subjects that I'll just mention, but I'm not really gonna talk about all the time. Handwriting, love the Good and the Beautiful's handwriting, super fun. It is just straightforward, and it has a little activity or something to color or something to draw at the end of each page. Love it. And then spelling, Evan Moor, which I've also done a video on that before. If you wanted to see more of an in-depth look at that, I'll link that above. But love that. Super straightforward spelling. They're becoming much stronger spellers this year using Evan Moor because it's just a list. They study it every day. They do something every day, and they're just getting stronger. We just super easy peasy spelling. So that is, those are the two other little, you know, tiny subjects that I really love. So those are my favorites. I don't have a Bible curriculum that I would say is my favorite because I think my favorite thing to do with my kids is just read the Bible with them. That's what, last year we just read through the New Testament and just sat on the couch and read the Bible, and it was awesome. So that really is my favorite, and that's why I'm not sharing a favorite Bible curriculum, because I just love reading the Bible with them, doing scripture memory with them, and things like that. So sometimes you don't need a fluffy, fancy curriculum. Sometimes just, especially with the Bible, just study the Bible together. Well, those are all my favorites. I'm excited to tell you guys that in one video. It's kind of fun because a lot of times I focus on just one curriculum, and this was like everything that I love. If you guys enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions about any of these curriculum or anything that I'm using or anything about homeschooling, feel free to leave me a question in the comments section. I love hearing from you guys, and I will answer the questions the best I can. So I really appreciate you guys being here. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you're notified every time one of my videos comes out. And don't forget to check the playlist. I will link that in the description box below. And thanks to Ryan from Mama on Mission for inviting me to this collaboration. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what all these other moms have, because I guarantee none of us have all the same curriculum. I would pretty much guarantee that. But I'm excited to hear what they have. It's always fun. I love talking about curriculum. And I love talking about thrifty life and mom life. So just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thanks for being here. I will see you guys next time. Bye.